Hello and welcome to this presentation. I am Robin Pullen, an advisor on behavior change management, executive coach and professional speaker. But I'm also a keen entrepreneur, and I've enjoyed the opportunity to have worked with more than 100,000 people in communities that reach from Cape Town right up through to Kenya. Listen, I want to say well done for making the time to join us in on this presentation. I've heard it said that 80% of your success is just showing up. So well done. Look, as we get going, may I encourage you to deal with other distractions that will rob you of your focus in our time together. How about closing the email and putting your mobile on silent? Thank you. Listen, do you have a pen and paper nearby? You might want to jot something down as we go through this. Well, I feel really excited to share the following presentation with you. I was able to secure some time with a mentor of mine who's building a successful business which is growing around the world. Look, please forgive some of the background noise as I was able to corner him at a hotel just before he took his international guest back to the airport. But enough of that. Let me take this opportunity to introduce him. He's an expert on sales, experienced in internet and online business, and he is a wealth creation entrepreneur. He's married, has 2 kids, and currently lives in Johannesburg, South Africa. He is at the forefront of launching a global online platform that will have a huge impact on social media, online and digital marketing industries. It's a real privilege for me to hand you over for the next 50 minutes or so to Mr. Andrew Eaton.
Right, hi everyone, and welcome to the webinar. And as you can see on your screen over there, the future has definitely arrived for some of you that take what I'm about to talk to you about seriously and apply it in your lives and apply the business principles which I'm about to talk to you about over the next couple of months, the next couple of years. So the reason you are here is probably because, like me, you've probably felt the recession, and as we all know, that it's hurt a lot of people, and very few of us have been unaffected by the recession. If you're one of those people, I know exactly what you feel like, and what it does to people. So if you're one of those people that's been hit by the recession globally, well, you're in the right place right now. Let me ask you another question. Do you know of anyone who's been retrenched in the last 6 months, the last year? If you're anything like me, you probably know of many people who've been retrenched, and there's a good possibility that you've also been retrenched or have nearly been retrenched. The fact of the matter is that with the current global economy and the climate that we live in, many people are getting retrenched and being affected by retrenchments. One of the big things that used to affect me is that I often used to find myself at the end of the month with more month left than money. And what I've realized over the last couple of years is that I wasn't alone. So as you sit and listen to me moving forward, if you're one of those people that are affected by having more month than money at the end of the month, then this webinar is really something that you should be listening to at the moment. Are you trying to make a life or a living from a single income? As we all know, many families are now dependent on single incomes, and it's putting a large strain on the breadwinner. And it's really not sustainable in the current economic climate that we live in. So, we need to change that. We need to make sure that people are able to diversify their incomes. And this really is also what this webinar is going to be addressing tonight. But if you're really struggling to make a living because you're the sole breadwinner on a single income, then take note over the next half an hour or so. Are you able to keep up with the cost of living? Look, a couple of years ago, what you could buy for $1, you couldn't buy for $10 right now. So the cost of living certainly is going up, and what we're finding is that people's salaries are not keeping up with inflation, interest rates, etc. are rising, and it's a real mess out there. And if you're like anyone else, many other people that I know, really we're all struggling. Most people are really just struggling to keep up with the cost of living. And it causes not only financial worries, but many other negative aspects that come into their lives as a result of that. And what we're going to try and do is solve that for a lot of people if they take what we're about to say tonight seriously. I remember when I grew up, my father used to work an 8-hour day. He used to leave in the morning and he'd be home at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It was an 8-hour day because that's what it used to be like 30, 40 years ago. Unfortunately, right now, what we found is that most people are not working 8 hours a day. They're working 15, 16, 17, 8 hours a day, and they're really owned by their jobs rather than owned, living a life. And we've noticed that it's depressing for people. They realize they don't have a life. And if you're one of those people that feels that you're just putting in so many hours a day and not having a life, and you don't have a life to spend with the people that you should be spending your time with, well, then you really should be listening to what I'm going to be saying to you over the next half an hour to an hour. Hand in hand with that, not having enough hours in their days, because most people are spending so much time at work in the office, and they're not even being paid for their overtime. We call it overworked and underpaid. And the more I speak to so many people every single week that really, really struggle and are depressed by the fact that they put in so much work for someone else and are not recognized for that in their pockets. The money doesn't reach their pockets, and they don't get recognized for all the work they're doing. So their family life suffers as a result, and yet there's no benefit for them in terms of a financial kickback. If you're one of those people, pay attention. Most people that I speak to, when you say if you had all the time and money in the world, what would you do? That's what they'd want to spend it with more family. So if you're one of those people looking for more time to spend with your family, then you really are at the right time, at the right place at the moment. I'm going to show you a way in which you can earn passive income working from home so that you can spend more time with the people that care about you and that you care about. And of course, that's what I spoke about. The way you free up more time to spend with the people you care about is by finding out a way to create passive income in your life. This is the only way in which you're going to free up time to spend time with the people that you like. There is no other money that will enable you to do this. So really, if this is a new concept to you, you really need to be listening to what I'm going to be saying to you during the course of this webinar. With all this overwork, all these people that are overworked all around the world in their jobs, and a lot of stress-related illnesses come into it. This costs money. Medical aids are very expensive. And I'd like you to ask yourself a question. If you or anyone in your family right now were to fall severely ill, do you have the financial capacity to make sure that you and your family are looked after in the case of any health mishaps in your lives? And if the answer to that is no, then you seriously need to listen to what I'm going to say tonight as well, because you need to find a way in which you can have an insurance, and I'll use inverted commas, an insurance policy, money put away, money that can come in at any time that can take care of an unfortunate incident like that could happen in your life that you would need money for. What do you need to do to get back a sense of control and enjoy your independence? I find it so sad when I look around the world these days and I see all these people just in a rut. I call it the rat race. And all they do is they wake up in the morning, they go to work, then come home, they go have supper, they go to sleep. And they're really not in control of their life. They don't even know that they're not in control of their life. But they've been driven by people they've been driven and controlled completely by big corporates who own their lives. And this is something that's very near to my heart, particularly because this is where I find myself when I first looked at the business. I did not own my life. I did not have control over my own life. And by applying what I'm going to show you tonight, I took back control of my life, and I now do enjoy the independence that someone in my position, or anyone in my position gets to enjoy, and that anyone that I know would love. It's called financial freedom. So let me ask you a question. What would it mean to you? And I want you to think about this very carefully. What would it mean to you if you controlled your own financial security? If you're in charge of your life? No one else mattered. You were in charge. What would you be doing? What would you have? What would you own? Would you be doing what you're currently doing now if you were financially free? And financially free means more money coming into your bank account passively than what you spend every month on your costs. What would that mean to you? And before I carry on to the next slide, I'd like to pause for 30 seconds to let you think about that. Right. I hope you've given that some good thought, because if you don't have a big why, nothing that I'm about to say will matter. And of course, that's exactly what I was saying. What would it mean if you were financially free? What would it mean to you if you had the means to help others? But let me ask you a question. Are you aware that the economy has changed? We now live in a new economy, and if you're not prepared for the new economy, you're going to be left behind. There's some very intelligent people in the world, possibly about 5% of the world, that have realized that there's a new economy, and they are reaping the benefits. And what I'm going to show you tonight is a way for you to partake in that new economy. The fact of the matter is, the old economy no longer rewards the employee. Now, you might not be an employee, you might own your own business here. But if it's a traditional business, in many cases we find that the business actually owns you. And that means that you're still partaking in the old economy. But let's talk about the old economy. 20, 30 years back, people used to work for the same company their entire lives. As a reward, companies would pay them fantastic pensions and retirement packages and give them a lovely gold watch. I want you to think about it right now. If you know anyone right now who's worked for the same company for more than 15, 20 years, and how their pension package is looking right now. If it's anything like the people I know, they are panicking because they realized that what they're going to be paid in their pensions and the various provident funds that the companies put together for them is certainly not going to keep them alive long enough in the retirement age. The old economy helped people when that was still sufficient, but now it doesn't. People need to change. Let's talk about job loyalty. The old economy used to reward loyalty. There's no more loyalty. We spoke about it earlier. People have been getting retrenched. You know people have been retrenched. You possibly yourself has been retrenched. Retrenchments in the old economy were a very rare occurrence. In the new economy, it's a daily occurrence. There's no longer such a thing as loyalty, both from the employer but also the employee. 30, 40 years ago, as we said, most people used to work for the same company their entire lives. The average lifespan of a job these days in the current new economy is 5 years before either the employer stops the relationship or the employee moves on to a new job through their own decisions. But there's no more job loyalty. The old economy no longer works. As I said, there's no more job security, less and less company loyalty. But who does the new economy? Who does it reward? Well, in this slide by Robert Kiyosaki, you can see the richest people in the world. He says the richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else is trained to look for work. The new economy rewards the entrepreneur, the person willing to take risks. The new economy rewards the connectors, people who believe in building networks. These are the people who are going to strive in the new economy. And what I'm going to hopefully try and show you tonight is how you can be part of the new economy by being a connector, by connecting people, and by becoming an entrepreneur. So let's face it, if you're still part of the old economy, you're going to need a better solution. And I want you to think very carefully whether you fall into the new economy or the old economy. If you form part of the new economy, great. Let's show you another way. If you form part of the old economy, I'm going to strongly suggest you take what I'm about to tell you incredibly seriously, because you do need a better solution. But what makes for the perfect opportunity in a new economy? Let's think about that. Well, you need a system designed for the new economy, one that works with the biggest trends of the new economy, one that can minimize risk with a very low cost to entry, designed to generate you passive income that has proven unlimited potential. I don't want a cap on my head as to how much I can earn, people. I don't know about you, but I certainly don't want a cap or a ceiling. It's built on something that you're already doing every day. In fact, as you sit here listening to me right now, there already is a huge hint. So let me ask you, what are the 4 biggest trends in the new economy? 1, the internet. Let me tell you about the internet. The internet is the biggest trend in the history of mankind. It has created more millionaires, billionaires, and financially free people than the agricultural revolution and the industrial revolution put together times 100,000. It is by far the biggest trend that we have ever seen in the history of mankind and probably will see. Within the biggest trend, there are 3 other huge trends. The first of being online games. Online games is probably the fastest growing trend on the internet these days, with people buying, well, being able to download free games in places like the Google Play Store and the Apple iStore. The other biggest trend are avatars. Avatars are massive, and I'll be going into that in more detail as we go through the next slides. But you only have to look at this slide here by Kim Kardashian and Google that. Online advertising is huge, typically on all social networks. Social networks are massive, and online advertising plays a huge part in social networks. And most companies, most people who know how to make money on the internet, all know that a large portion of this comes from online advertising. So, what if I could show you an opportunity that fits into the better way? Would that interest you? Is that something that you think you could spend the next 20 minutes listening to about something that could drastically change not only your future, but your family's future? And the company I'm going to talk to you about is called YOBSN. It stands for Your Own Branded Social Network. It's the world's first and only revenue-sharing social network. So let me ask you a question once again. Who do you know who falls into one or more of these categories? Uses the social networks, plays games online, shops online, wants to be educated online, likes the chances to win prizes, and likes rewards programs. Almost everyone, right? Well, wouldn't that be a massive clue that you'd want to have a business that addresses all these people? So YOBSN is actually a product of a company called Smart Media Technologies. We were incorporated in 2007 and we launched officially in 2009. The Smart Media founder and chief technical officer is David Martin, and he's been designing and developing banking platforms and fraud security systems for over 15 years with his elite programming team. In 2006, David decided that he wanted to create something special for the average person out there, and that is where the idea of Smart Media Technologies and YOBSN came from. Our chief executive officer or CEO is a gentleman by the name of Ken Bruff. He has 35 years of senior management experience, ranging from chief technical officer to chief executive officer in several traditional prestigious US firms. He's also held vice president positions for well-known celebrity companies such as Empire Research Group, Business Breakthroughs International, which was founded by Chet Holmes and Tony Robbins. Now, he's responsible for all operational aspects of all things YOBSN. We incorporated in the city, in the state of Nevada, and these are the two certificates that prove that. So, how does it work? Well, if you'd like to register as a free user on YOBSN, you would register just like they would for Facebook, except they go to YOBSN. Now, as you can see here, we're the only social network where people can win prizes, and we've already given away over $55,000 of prizes in the last couple of months. The big thing about our social network, about YOBSN, is that new free members receive 30 social points for registering with YOBSN. So just for registering, we will reward them with what we call social points, loyalty points of sorts. Now, what can people do with those loyalty points? Well, how else can they earn loyalty points? Well, just when they refer more free users, other people, to your social networks or to your games, they receive more loyalty points. And it's important to note that only YOBSN owners can have a free member network. Any free members referred by other free members become part of the YOBSN owners' free member network. So when people have earned enough social points, and there are various ways in which they can earn it, I'm not going to go into all of that right now, but there are various ways people can earn social points. When they've racked up enough social points, what can they do with them? Well, they can go into the YOBSN digital social point store, and they can redeem those loyalty points, those social points, for downloadable digital products where it normally cost them money if they had to go and try and look for them anywhere else on the internet. And very, very soon, we will be opening up our very own physical products reward store, where free users will be able to go in and redeem those loyalty points, those social points, for physical products like iPads, iPods, and all those sort of things. So we are the only social network on the entire internet that rewards people for using it and for telling their friends through social points. On top of that, we're going to reward all the free users, and do reward all the free users, with prizes. On the social network, people can click on the daily, weekly, and monthly prizes and earn prizes. On the daily prize, they get to earn social points. On the weekly prize, On the weekly prize, they can earn up to $250 in cash, and in the monthly prize, they can earn iPads. They can win iPads, iPods, cash prizes. And like I said before, since June of 2014, we have already given away $55,000 worth of prizes in the form of netbooks, iPods, Nintendos, Wii, and much, much more. What else can your free users get on inside of your YOBSN? Well, we've got over 200 exclusive videos in the free smart library where people can see from basic to advanced level on the hottest topics related to computers, social networks, internet marketing, digital devices, and so much more. We have over 1,000 academic videos in the free My University library where people can watch videos right from primary school to university levels, including English courses that are presented at prestigious universities like Yale and Stanford universities. We've got hundreds of smart softwares to choose from. Now, these are all softwares that you can download on the net normally, but what we have done is our programmers have gone and found the best. We've put them through 41 of our own standards. It's recommended by our experts, conveniently located in one place for you. So that saves time and money, and guaranteed you and your free users will find great software you didn't even know existed. People get free access to our exclusive YOBSN web games, including action games, strategy games, and educational games. More on the mobile version of that later. They get free access to 11 search engines conveniently located on the YOBSN social network. Now, most people don't know most of these search engines exist. We have them all in one place for you and your free users. Much like people can chirp on another famous network's walls, we have something called Smart Chirp where you and your friends can add videos, images, status updates, and links. Very popular feature. We also have something called Smart Mail. Now, emails are becoming more and more obsolete because of spam filters and that sort of, and all those sort of things. So inside of YOBSN, we have a smart mail system where you can send smart mail to one person, multiple people, one group, multiple groups, or everyone in just one click. It's beyond email in that it is 100% guaranteed. There's no spam, and it's enabled with video file attachments that are way, way bigger than video file attachments that you would find on any of our competing products. You also get free access. You and them will also get free access to fantastic videos. And you'll have hundreds of the best videos on the internet, like topics like shows, film animation, autos and vehicles, music, pets and animals, sports, gaming, people, blogs, all those sort of things, all in one place that are directly normally accessed through YouTube, but now can be found in one spot, all on your YOBSN. Now let's get back to the games. Did you know that playing games online is now the biggest trend on the internet? And that at least 50% of Facebook users log in to play games. Most of us on this webinar will have heard of games like Candy Crush and Clash of Clans. Well, did you know that Candy Crush, which is free to play and downloadable in the App Store, makes upwards of $1 million a day in in-game purchases? Clash of Clans, $2.5 million a day from in-game purchases. All right? Now, if you also take into account that, as I said, 50% of Facebook users use Facebook just to play games, that is 500 million people. Think about that, people. 500 million people logging onto the internet every day to play games. It is big, big, big business. Smart Media and YOBSN have created their own games, and the first two that have hit the iStore and the Apple and the Android store, Google Play Store, is Bubble Champion and Rescue Rabbit Rush. These are the first games to go into the Apple and Android app stores, and there are going to be way, way more coming available soon, which means we're the only revenue-sharing company with games in these stores. Other games to follow are games like Cave of Treasures, Desert Master, which is very similar to Candy Crush, Ultra Spaceball. Stunning graphics in all of them. And of course, we've got our own educational games. Memory Lane is already in the Google Play Store, and that is a fun-filled maths game for young and old. So great games coming into the various app stores, and some that are already there. Now, as we said earlier, avatars are big business, people. If you don't know who Kim Kardashian is, I suggest you Google her. But in June last year, Kim Kardashian put her name to a avatar game on the internet. And once again, don't take my word for it. Just look over there. Kim Kardashian's game makes $700,000 a day. That was already in July. How do they make games? Well, people can play the game for free, but then they buy the clothes that Kim Kardashian suggests they buy for their avatar. It's very simple, and it's big business. YOBSN has its own avatars and is the best collection of avatars in the world, in fact. In fact, if you had to compare our avatars to Kim Kardashian's, you will see that our artwork and reality of what the avatars look like are just in a different league. So I want you to remember this. While YOBSN users are spending social points to look great, the YOBSN owners will be earning real money on these purchases. Now let's talk about the branding aspect of YOBSN. When you buy your YOBSN, you get to brand it and make it look like you want it. These are a couple of examples of existing YOBSN owners' branding and what their pages look like. And let me put it into more perspective for you. When we log onto Facebook, onto the logon page, what is the first thing we see? We see the Facebook logo. Now imagine sending your free users to your YOBSN. The first thing they will see is whatever you want them to see. If you want them to see your company logo, they will see your company logo. If you want them to see your latest product, they will see your latest product before they log in. If you want them to see your beautiful face, they will see your beautiful face before they log in. This is your own branded social network, and you get to have 24-hour-a-day presence on not only their laptop or computer browser, but very, very soon to be their mobile browsers. So what do you get with your unique YOBSN branding? Well, paid members get your brand, and when your free members use YOBSN, they see your branding. You get real-time branding, live database of all your free YOBSN users. Now, the database includes people, their username, their name, their email, their phone, their city, their country, their IP address, and the date and time when they joined your YOBSN. This is invaluable to people understand the power of building a list in marketing. It's probably the world's biggest list builder. You get replicated websites and real-time back office tracking and real-time accounting all in one place when you become a YOBSN owner. Now, in my opinion, this is probably one of the most dynamic money-making opportunities in the world. Let's take into consideration that there have been well over 50 billion downloads and over $10 billion spent by the end of 2013 in the Apple iStore alone. And we are now a part of those amazing numbers. Can you now see how having YOBSN games, and just the games in those stores, is a dynamic money-making opportunity for you? How does it work though? In-game revenue, how does this in-game revenue work for you? Well, you earn 25%, as a YOBSN owner, you earn 25% of the company revenue when your free members purchase gems from the Apple or Google stores. YOBSN owners can have an unlimited amount of free members, and here's the beautiful part about it, people. Your free members can refer an unlimited amount of free members to your YOBSN. Think about that. We reward them and encourage them and incentivize them in terms of social points and matching social points, prizes and matching prizes to refer their friends to your YOBSN. And when their friends spend money, you're the person that makes the 25% commission on their purchases. Now here it gets very, very interesting. When you sponsor another YOBSN owner by selling them a YOBSN package and they earn 25%, when their free members purchase gems, guess what? You earn 100% exactly the same amount as what they earn on their users, which means you earn whatever they earn. So the more YOBSN owners you sponsor, the more money you can make. And here's the greatest news. You can sponsor an unlimited amount of YOBSN owners. There is no ceiling as to how many people you can sell a YOBSN package to. That is true leverage. Now, let's talk about the social points revenue for YOBSN owners. As a professional YOBSN owner, when free users in your network use social points for avatar purchases as an example, you make money. One social point is the equivalent of 2.5 US cents. So let's assume that a free user of yours, call him Bob, wants to dress his avatar. So he buys a top worth 150 social points. That equates to 0.375 US cents in your back pocket. Okay? He buys trousers worth 100 social points, which is another 25 US cents in your back pocket. He buys a pair of shoes with 110 social points. That's another 27.5 US cents in your back pocket. which is a total of 360 social points or 90 US cents. Think about this, people. Play money turning into real money for you, the YOBSN owner. Now, I want you to imagine if you only had 100 free users in your network shopping with social points for avatar clothes, that will be 100 people times 90 US cents a month, which would be $90 a month, just from people spending play money on virtual clothes. It's mind-boggling. Furthermore, we spoke about some of the tools in your back office. In this slide, you can see that we can, in real time, track the in-game revenue. This is a slide of that real time. And as you can see here, the game was Bubble Champion. Someone bought 99 cents worth of gems. Let's just make something clear over here. When gems get bought in either the Apple iStore or the Google Play Store, either one of those companies, whichever company it is going to keep 30%. In this case, it was 30 US cents. Now look at this. Of the remaining 69 cents, the person whose free user it was got 17% commission on that first one. And because you sold that person the YOBSN, you also made 17 cents. Because remember, you earn whatever anyone that you sponsored, person you sponsored, whatever they earn, you earn exactly the same. So here's proof of real-time tracking. Now, let's talk about the money. Let's start making this money real for you and start getting to the nitty-gritty of why you're on this webinar and how it can change your life. Essentially, to really simplify things, we get paid to do two things. Just two things. Number one, we get paid to give away our product for free. Now, I want you to think about something, and I want to ask you a question. Could you find 100 free users in the next 90 days? In other words, could you find 100 people in the next 90 days who would either want to play your games or partake in your social media site, just like a Facebook? Could you give away 100 YOBSNs for free in the next 90 days? I think the answer should be yes. If it's no, then possibly this business is not for you. And let me ask you a question. Bearing in mind that we are the only social network that rewards people both for using it and for telling their friends. We are the only games company that rewards people for playing our games and for telling their friends. How do we do that? Well, number one, anytime anyone is playing the games or using the social network, they are earning social points for doing various things. When they tell a friend, we immediately give them social points just for telling their friends. And when their friends are earning social points, be it in the games or on the social network, they earn matching social points. And here comes the best part. If their friend wins a prize, so they win a matching prize. So if their friend wins an iPad, they are also going to win an iPad. Bearing that in mind, do you think that it is conservative or even realistic to say that each of those 100 people that you went and gave away a product to could tell one person each about your YOBSN every single month? I think the answer to that is a resounding yes. So let's talk about what that could mean for you in terms of your money that you make from giving away your product for free. Let's assume that we are now in January and you have given away 100 YOBSNs. And let's assume that you make on average just 10 US cents per day from the in-game revenue, because there are various revenues. I'm going to speak about three of the revenues now from our product, the first being in-game revenue. So you gave away 100, you're making on average 10 US cents per free user per month. That means in January you've made $10. Now many of you might be laughing at this and saying that's not a lot of money. But I want to show you right now the power of compound. And John Paul Getty, one of the wealthiest men in the world, understood this at a very deep level. He understood the power of compound and leverage. And he said, I would rather have 1% of 100 people's effort than 100% of my own. I'm about to demonstrate this to you. Bearing in mind the model that we said, the assumption that we made, that each of these 100 people will tell one friend each a month, in February you would have 200 people and you'd be earning $20 a month. If that trend continued, by March it would be $440 a month, by April $880 a month, by May 1,600 gamers and you'd be earning $160 a month, and by June 3,200 free users, and you'd be earning $320 a month for giving away your games for free. No selling. I want you to think about that carefully. And you only gave it away to 100 people, and they created the viral effect for you from there. People, bearing in mind that Facebook went from 0 to 1 billion users in 5 short years because of word of mouth, with zero incentivization for us to tell our friends. Can you imagine what we can do here with the incentivization that we've put in place? So let's go to the next slide and talk about avatar revenue. Bearing in mind in the slide I showed you earlier that if someone just bought a top, a pair of shoes, and the trousers for the avatar, you'd be making 90 US cents off that person's purchases for that month. And this is on social points. They didn't even have to go to an app store and spend real money. They spent social points which they earned for doing various tasks inside of the YOBSN and in winning certain levels in the games. So 90 cents times 100, that means in January you're making another $90. In February, $180. And of course by June, with 3,200 people, free users, another $2,880. Now we're starting to talk significant numbers, people. So let's also talk about pay-per-click. On your YOBSN, there are adverts. If anyone clicks on if any of your free users click on the advert, of course you share in the pay-per-click revenue. And let's once again assume that on average you earn about 10 US cents per person per month from there clicking on ads. That means once again in January, if you had 100 free users, you'd have be making $10 a month. And of course, that the same trend would happen as on the other two, and by June you'd be making another $320 a month. So add these 3 free user revenue streams together, and this is what your income would look like in June if we were sitting in January right now. In other words, 6 months from now. If you add the in-game revenue with the avatar revenue and the pay-per-click revenue together, that would be $1.10, which means in January you'd be making $110 from 100 of your free users. They tell one friend each. February, $220, March, $440, April, $880, and eventually by June, as you can see from the slide, you'd have 3,200 free users, and you'd be making about, on this model, $3,520 a month. Now, there are a couple of things I'd like to ask you before we carry on to the next slide. Is this going to continue growing, or is it going to deteriorate? What happens when 3,200 people tell one friend each? It is the power of compound that 5% of people in the new economy have worked out. And I hope you're starting to see for yourself right now how this works. So, now, the second thing I wanted to ask you is, what if you can help 10 people do what you've just done? If you're making $3,500 a month by giving away a product for free, wouldn't you want to help 10 other people do the same? If the answer is yes, I want to explain to you what that's going to mean for you. If you remember in previous slides, I said that for everyone that you personally help get a YOBSN and become a YOBSN owner, whatever they earn from their free users, you earn exactly the same. All right? So once again, let's have a look at that. If they were earning, in this example, $5,024 a month from their free users, and you had helped all 10 of them, in essence, in addition to what you'd be making from your free users, you'd be making another $50,240 from their free users. That is what you call leverage. Now, you speak to any intelligent, successful businessman, and they will tell you that the best income models and business models in the world are business models, income models, where you have either leverage or compound, and preferably both. I have just shown you a business model right here where you can have both. Now, the second way in which reason we get paid is to help other people own a YOBSN. To get them a YOBSN, let them buy one, just like we bought one. Let me ask you, what if you can help other people get their own YOBSN? This is the network marketing side of things. I'm very passionate about this. It's completely changed my life. There are various income streams that I can go through, but I'm only going to talk to you about a couple of them on this webinar because of time constraints that I have. There are various packages which you can buy, and I'm only going to talk to you about a few. So on every $50 package sale that someone buys, or if you help someone get started for $50, you would earn a once-off $20 commission. If they bought a $125 package from you, you'd earn $25 once-off. And our top premier package, which I recommend everyone should buy, because this is really the bells and whistles package with everything included. This is for the serious people. This is for the people that really want to make money tomorrow, and not just small money, big money. It's the $600 package. And if someone buys a $600 package from you, you will earn a once-off $150 direct commission. Now, I want to say something. There is no limit to the number of people that can be directly sponsored for you. You can buy as many sell as many YOBSN packages as you want. Now, let's talk about the team commissions. Basically, in the team commissions, which is our second income stream on the network marketing side, you get to build 2 teams. All reps are placed in the team structure, and you are paid unlimited depth, no matter who does the sale in your team. So let's assume you went and helped Jack and Jill purchase a YOBSN, help them on their way to financial freedom. What a great feeling. So you personally sponsor Jack and Jill. This qualifies you to earn money from what we call our team bonus, our team commissions. And this pays out, as we said, unlimited to infinity, up to $50,000 per week. So let's talk about how we earn off this. If you look on the right side there, you'll see that any new rep who starts at the $50 package brings in 30 points to the tree. Anyone who comes in at $125 brings 100 points into the tree. Anyone who comes in at the $250 package brings in 200 points to the tree. And anyone who comes in at the $600 brings in 450 points to the tree. Okay, so whenever your business has 900 points in it, with a minimum of 300 points in one team, so it can be 600, 300, 450, 450, it doesn't matter, or 600, 300, 300, 600, it doesn't matter. There just has to be a minimum of 300 points in the one team. You cycle. Okay? You cycle. And when you cycle, if you're on the top package, you will make $50 commission. If you're on the bottom packages, you will make only $25. However, we would like to encourage you to get to the top package as quickly as possible. So in your back office, there is the option to leave all your commissions in what we call an upgrade wallet. And if you leave your commissions in the upgrade wallet, you will earn exactly the same amount of money as the people in the top package, meaning that if you left it there as a $50, $125, or $250 rep, you would also earn $50 on every cycle. So let's talk about how that can impact your finances. There's you. And there are 3 different ways on how you can build your team. 1, through your direct people that you personally sponsored. And I'm going to assume here, people, let me just go back. I'm going to assume here that we're only selling $600 packages, because that's one I'd like to concentrate on. So in your direct referrals, every single time you personally, that someone buys one from you personally, you make $150 once off, and 450 points goes into your tree. If the person who sent you here tonight, and if you decide to get going with them, if they sell or help someone get started on a YOBSN package, and they choose to put them in your team, that is called spillover, you also get 450 points in your tree. Then, of course, anyone that you sold a package to or bought a package from you, anyone that they helped get started with YOBSN at the $600 level, that will also bring 450 points into your tree. And obviously anyone that they brought in, also 450 points to infinity. But let me just show you this example over here. So there's you, and there's what we call your upline. They're the person who helped you get started in this business. Now you can only build 2 teams, and they can only build 2 teams. You build a left team and a right team. Now let's assume you went and saw your friend John down the road and showed them this webinar. And John said, I like what I see, I would like to get going. When they get going, and when you help them get going, you are going to make $150 once off commission. You're also going to get 450 points in your tree on the left side. Then you went and saw Peter, You might have shown Peter some marketing material, which you might have seen before seeing this webinar. Maybe you showed them this recording of this exact webinar as well. And Peter gets excited, and Peter wants to get going with you. So you help Peter get started. You make another $150, and another 450 points goes into the tree. Now, if you look on your right-hand side, you've got 450 points on your left side. You've got 450 points on your right side. That's a total of 900 points in your business altogether. And there is the criteria of a minimum of 300 of those points being in the one team. That criteria has been met, which means you're going to cycle. You've just made yourself $50. Now, let's assume the very next day John goes out and he gets Nora involved. Nora loves what you see. She buys a YOBSN from John. John makes the $150 commission, but look what just came into your team. This is called leverage. You were not there helping John with Nora. You were sleeping. Maybe you were on a beach. But John sold a package to Nora, but 450 points still came into your team. Then John went out and saw Sarah, and the same thing happened. He made the once-off commissions of 150, but another 450 points came into your left team. You now have 900 points in your left team, which means you've got 900 points in your business. But the criteria to cycle has not been met, because in your right team, you still have no points. But here where it becomes exciting. Peter, on that very same day, goes out, sees Jude, says, Jude, listen, I've just launched an internet business. Can I show you what it's about? Jude says, fantastic. Peter shows Jude all the marketing material and maybe this webinar. Jude says, she's in. Peter makes $150 once-off commission. He's happy. You're happy because Peter's happy. Another 450 points came into your right team. You now have 1,350 points in your business, of which a minimum of 300 points is actually in your one team, which means you qualify to cycle again. Now, I'm not going to go through it all in much detail here, but what I'm hoping you understanding is that every time your business has 900 points in it, with a minimum of 300 points in one team, you're going to cycle. You've just cycled in this scenario here. Now, what's beautiful about our business is we use John Paul Getty's method, or philosophy, which I spoke about earlier, which is I would rather have 1% of 100 people's effort than 100% of my own. So let's have a look what starts happening over here. Let's say you now bring Mandy into the business. You put them below Peter. You put Mandy below Peter. Peter's happy because you just put 450 points into Peter's business. By the way, you made another $150. You've also just cycled again now and you brought it in another 450, and there was an existing 450 on the other leg. Now, Dave is the person that brought you on board. He is your David. Your upline brings Dave in. Your upline. Dave is spillover from your upline. So your upline says, you know what? I'm going to put him down at the bottom of your leg. You're happy because your upline just put 450 points into your business. Joan joins. Dave, who was spillover from your upline, brings in Andy. Mike comes in. Bob comes in. You bring in Sarah again. Then you bring in Ben. You've now personally brought in 6 people, all the greens. You see that? You're now seeing the people that your people brought in, all the orange ones, all the pinkish ones. And the bottom line is, in this example, your total earnings, with just that amount of people having bought YOBSN packages, is $1,300. How's that split up? Well, 6 of those people you personally brought in: Peter, Mandy, Sarah, John, Mike, and Ben. So that's 6 times 150 equals $900, and you made a further $400 from 8 cycles. Now, what I want to, those are 2 out of the 16 income streams. I haven't even touched on the other income streams. If you'd like, if you're a person who's very detailed, I would suggest you go to www.smartmediatechnologies.com. I'd suggest you click on the opportunity tab and go, and on each of the income streams, there are detailed videos which will explain in way more detail than what I have here on how every single income stream works. There are 16 of them. Now, what I do want to say to you, though, is that sales commissions are paid out weekly. Advertising commissions are actually paid out daily. And as long as the commission amount is more than 50 cents on that. All the money gets paid into your e-wallet, which is in your back office, and that is a free online account set up for every single paid member. Now, when you want to withdraw the money, you can transfer money from your e-wallet to the bank account of your choice for an international wire transfer. Product vouchers can also be issued from your back office for new people for upgrades. Also, if you look at the right there, you can see a global cash card. Very shortly, you can also elect to order a global cash card from YOBSN and have your commissions all paid into the Global Cash Card. And as you can see, it is a Visa Cash Card, which means it's accepted at all major outlets all over the world. Now we're coming to the end of the webinar, but what I'd like to just do is quote Tony Robbins quickly. People, I've been in this business for almost 4 years now. And I see people look at this opportunity and I see them really make bad decisions and decide for whatever reason that to pass it up. Tony Robbins said, it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. They say the average person has 5 business opportunities come across their way during their lifetimes. Successful people take those opportunities. The middle class people, the workers, the people who still live in the old economy, don't. I want to ask you right now, are you ready to get connected to your future? Are you ready to make a decision and start shaping your destiny instead of having someone else or some other organization shape the destiny for you? So what are your next steps? If you want to start taking charge of your life, if you want to own your life, what I would really suggest is today, do not waste any time. Get back to the person who put you onto this webinar, who sent you to this webinar, and ask them, please, to set up a time for your game plan meeting. A game plan meeting is designed specifically to get you started and start providing you with the tools to give you the very best chance to succeed in the business, which is busy taking the world by storm. Don't hesitate. Don't watch us. Join us. Thank you.